my name's Sarah. Welcome to my sewing room, or if you've been here before, welcome back. I love to make things. I make all my own clothes, I upcycle things in my wardrobe. So if you're into upcycling and making your own clothes and making wonderful things out of old fabric, then you're in the right place. I've decided today I'm going to be making the Fibre Mood Betty trousers again. This is the third time I've made these trousers and they are amazing. The fit is so good. I do tweak it a little bit under the crotch area just to give it a little bit extra space, just to sort of push it out round my backside. But other than that, it's a lovely barrel-shaped trouser with some lovely detailing. I don't know if you can see it on the waist there. The waist sort of dips down into the front and then the pockets are on a slant. And I thought I might use some bias binding, there we go, bias binding, which is going to be a really lovely match with this fabric to just highlight the details on the front of it. I have this stunning Damson print, which is plums in yellow and blue. It's an upholstery fabric that I actually picked up in a charity hub in Yeovil in Somerset last time I was home. It's got from, there we go, 1992 on there, so it's a very old print and it's stunning, and it's a lovely sort of denim-y weight cotton. So it sort of is lending itself to making jeans or trousers. So I've made this pattern before in a print, and the print does sort of absorb the lovely detail. I also made this pattern in denim, and if you top stitch on the denim it looks amazing, but if you top stitch on a print you can't really notice the detail so much. So I thought I'd highlight it with some bias binding, but I'll show you how I do that, because I'm not going to pipe it. I don't want a ridge. I just want literally a flash of almost like a highlighter pen, which it will be in this lovely yellow. So I intend to just highlight just on the detailing on the front, and maybe on the pockets a little bit. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to handle that, but first things first, I need to get things cut out. So let's get started. So I've laid the pattern out and I have enough fabric to actually make the trousers by quite a bit, but the waistband is, I don't quite have enough to do the waistband because it goes down to there, so I'm going to have to do the waistband in two parts, but I'll just put a belt loop over the centre waist at the back to cover up the join anyway. So I'm just pinning the pattern on. I've done a couple of little tweaks to the pattern. I've actually lowered the back rise by about 2 centimetres because I found my last couple of pairs have been a bit high on the back for me. I'm going to just increase this undercrotch just by about 1 centimetre on the back and the front, just to give a little bit more comfort around the bum area so I don't end up with a hungry bum. The only other tweak I've done is I've actually inserted a pleat just at the knee, which I just do need to lower a little bit when I actually sew it. But yeah, just basically when I take the pleat in on the leg, it'll just pull the leg in so that it's a little bit more sort of rounded and barrel shape. But other than that, I've pretty much followed the pattern. So let's get things cut out. Something else I've actually done on this pattern is I've lengthened the pocket by probably about 3 centimetres because I found when I looked at the original pattern the pocket bag was really short and I wouldn't have been able to get my hand in it, and I don't see the point of having pockets that you can't get your hand in. So I just inserted a bit on this pocket bag and also on this one, which is the lining as well. And you may have noticed I've actually written in pen what each pattern piece is, because for some reason Fibre Mood don't actually write on their pattern pieces what they actually are. So when I'm taping them together I just put on them what they are, so it makes more sense to me rather than number 6 or number 2 or number 1. I like to have the names on them. So my top tip for people if they're using Fibre Mood, actually write the names of your pattern pieces on the patterns. So I've got everything out. I just need to do the pocket bag now, which is the lining, so it's not going to show. But I'm thinking this yellow old sheet actually goes with it really well. I was going to use potentially this one, but I think the yellow is just a bit nicer and a bit more cheerful, especially as I'm going to use the yellow piping. So this old sheet has already been cut up and used to make lots of like practice and things. So I'm just going to cut it out of that. That's everything cut out. I've got all the back pieces there, the backs, the back pocket and the back yoke. Then I have the front yoke, the zipper guard, the front main pocket and the front. And then we have the waistband. Then we have the pocket lining, which is going to go with the front. And I also have this little scrap that I actually want to sew it in somewhere. And I don't know where I'm going to sew it yet. I might even have it on the back of the waistband on the inside, just to have a nod to the actual design and the year and what the fabric's called. I think that's really quite nice because it's such a vintage fabric. I mean, 1992, that's what, 24 years ago. So that's just fab. I just love it. I'm going to start sewing, and as I mentioned before, what I want to do is elevate them slightly by highlighting the pocket details and the back yoke details and the pockets. So I'm going to be putting this bias binding, I'm going to double it over so that it's a little bit thicker, and I'm going to sew that between the pocket and the outer so that when it's turned over, basically the pocket will be edged just with a tiny bit like that. It's a tiny bit of yellow. So it emphasises the shape of the really good, lovely front on these trousers. So I've done both the pockets now, so that's the pocket. And as you can see, the waistband just goes down into the lovely point at the front. So I've just used the piping, which is just bias binding along the edge of the seam, just to highlight how that looks. So if you look at it from a long way away, obviously it looks really cool and you can actually see the lovely design of the front of the trousers. And it just elevates it, and I just think it just makes it pop and just makes it feel much more special and much more designer. So I just finished the back and I piped the pockets and piped the yoke area there. I didn't pipe the waistband because I didn't want to over clutter it, and I've done the same on the front. So we've got the pocket piped, the yoke piped, but I haven't piped the waistband. I've done a buttonhole there, just waiting to sew the button on, and then they're done. I've hemmed them, just needs to be pressed, and we're done. So I hope you enjoyed my video of how to make and elevate these lovely Betty trousers. If you enjoyed it, please click like below. Also, I'd love you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you can come back and get inspiration of my makes and upcycles. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.